What can you tell us about what happened today?
Well, approximately 10:30 this morning, the 2nd District received a radio assignment to respond to 83rd in Detroit for 6 males waving guns in that area. Officers responded, at which time officers saw a suspect who matched one of the descriptions of one of the males. Our officers then attempted to get out and question that male. A foot pursuit ensued, at which time that male produced a handgun and pointed it at the officers that were pursuing him. One of our officers fired 4 rounds at that male as he pointed a gun at the officer. The male continued to run and was apprehended about 2 blocks away on West 87th Street. We did recover 1 handgun. We believe that's the handgun that the suspect actually pointed at the officers. We'll do testing on that to make sure. As the officers were pursuing that male, other rounds were fired by people at our officers from behind. None of our officers were struck, which we're thankful for. We're in the process, we have multiple crime scenes going in that area, probably 3 or 4 different crime scenes. So we're in the process of gathering casings. We've searched a couple locations for additional suspects that may have been involved in this. At this time, there's 1 male that was taken to Metro Health Medical Center where he was treated for what the doctors say looks like a puncture wound. We believe that wound was incurred while the suspect was jumping fences, running from our officers. So he has a small wound in his stomach that appears to be a puncture wound from going over a fence. And that's
so
it.
No one was actually shot today?
From talking to the medical professionals at Metro Health, it was not a gunshot wound that they can tell. It looks more like a puncture wound that would be consistent with the small barbs on the top of fences in that area.
Are you looking for the other people that were shooting at the officers?
We're looking for anybody that may be involved. We're looking for any witnesses that may have seen what was going on. They can call our homicide unit, 623-5464. If they have any information on what happened today, anybody that may be involved that fired shots at our officers, we definitely want to talk to those witnesses, and we want to get these people off the streets. Again, our officers were called because people in that neighborhood saw 6 males waving guns, and that's why we were there. And as a result of that, we tried to apprehend 1 male that actually had a gun, and that male turned and attempted to fire on our officers, and that's why this situation is to where it is now.
The suspect who had the puncture wound, was that the same one from the beginning who had the gun?
Yes.
Running from officers?
Yes, it's the same suspect.
Where was the gun found?
The gun was found a couple blocks over in an abandoned house. The suspect, we believe, actually threw the gun down in the basement window of an abandoned house. Our officers scoured that area, saw the window open with flashlights, could see in that window, and saw the gun laying on the floor.
Did the suspect ever fire?
We're not aware of that, but we are aware that the weapon may have malfunctioned because there are a couple pieces from the weapon that we found in different spots where the suspect was actually crouched down, pointing at our officers. So the weapon may have just malfunctioned, and which didn't enable him to actually fire the weapon at our officers. But our officers were fired at. We're just not sure where those shots came from. We know they were behind our officers who were in pursuit of the suspect, so they didn't actually come from that suspect at the time.
So what is that? Is that an ambush? Is that someone?
I don't know. I'm not going to say it's an ambush, but we've received a lot of calls for shots fired in this area in the past. Our officers know the area. It is a high crime area, and our officers try to be vigilant and careful when they're in that area.
What kind of charges is the suspect facing now?
We don't know right now. That's all up to our use of deadly force investigation team and those detectives.
Now, protesters went pretty crazy today. Their tensions were high. I know you went out there to try to mitigate things. Do you feel like it helped?
Well, no, it wasn't any higher than usual. People are upset when they think things happen that don't. One myth that's floating around out there is that there were 3 people shot and that they were dead laying in the backyard of those buildings, and that's why we had the police tape up, and we wouldn't let anybody go back there and see. Well, there's nobody dead. There's not even anybody shot. So, rumors like this get going, and then people get upset because they think the police are trying to cover up something, which is not the case.
Do you think that's part of just the climate that we seem to find ourselves in, with distrust?
Well, we are in a climate where people, try to find reason to be upset.
Is there anything you want the public to know from all this? Because I know there's obviously a lot going on in the police community with everything with Tamir Rice and all that?
Well, we want the public to know that, you know, you call and we're going to come. We got the call for these males and our officers were there. And, you know, it's a part of our job. You know, it's a dangerous job. Our officers are fired upon. By the grace of God, no one was struck, not even the suspect, and everybody's okay, and that's the way we like these things to end. But the public has to know, if you call, we're going to come. And if people out there see things that aren't right, if they see something that may help our officers when they respond, they need to give us that information.
Thanks.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you.
Gosh, we got a lot of stuff going on here.